Hello, classmates. Today I'm going to answer the question, how do we get staff members to buy into technology use in the classroom? I think there are three distinct ways that we can do this. One is efficiency. Grading can be a nightmare. We know that stacks of papers, reading bad handwriting, can be tough on a teacher. You got to take work home and work over the weekend. Technology takes a lot of that load off of a teacher. I actually use a program called Quia, Quia. It does about 85% of my grading for me. On a 30-question test, I may have 3 to 5 questions that I actually have to grade. It's pretty awesome. Cost me $49 a year, and if a teacher ever came up to me and said, "Hey, I'll do 80% of your grading, just pay me $50 for the whole year," dude, I wouldn't think twice. And that's why I don't think twice about paying for Quia. I have all my tests and quizzes uploaded already. It grades it for me. I can create an exam with existing test questions in about 10 minutes, and it's pretty awesome. The next thing is it's paperless. Okay. Digital programs like DocHub, Google Classroom that work together allow students to never lose work again. I never have to worry about not being able to read because you can actually type directly on an electronic worksheet. The other day, my school lost paper, like all the paper in the building was gone. Didn't affect me a bit because all my students know that everything's going to be on Google Classroom and they can use DocHub to type it nice and neat and turn in everything. No more lost papers, no more bad handwriting. The next thing is communication with parents. You know, Google Classroom is a very powerful tool, and if you send your parents an email home and they accept it, then they get a snapshot once a week of what their students are doing in your class. And it's a very, very efficient tool. They don't get them bombarded. Parents don't like a bunch of emails either, but once a week to see what their student is doing in your class is not terrible, and it helps hold the student accountable. As far as the district-wide goes, I think you just need to move the money. Textbooks cost a lot. Chromebooks, they cost a lot too, but they last, several years. And so when you transfer that money from Chromebooks to textbooks, or from textbooks to Chromebooks, you can fund the program. The last thing I want to talk about is the digital divide. This was something that was brought up. I actually, in a book from Anthony Picciano, Educational Leadership and Planning for Technology, he discussed that in the 90s and early 2000s, this was a really big deal of, for funding, that students didn't have the means to have access to technology, that demographics definitely played a role. Well, in my experience and, in the last 4 years, I've actually taught at disadvantaged schools that were utilizing technology in a big way. So I think that funding, they've kind of started to solve that problem with the digital divide. Where you still see the divide, though, is when the kids go home. Some kids don't have internet, they don't have, access to internet. And so the school divisions are promoting things like Starbucks that have free Wi-Fi, and that's tough. You don't want to tell a kid, "Oh, you should have went to Starbucks. Sorry you didn't turn your home up, but you should have went to Starbucks." So there is a digital divide still. Like, they're being provided with technology, but for a lot of the kids, when they go home, the technology use stops because they just don't have access to it. And that's something that we need to kind of consider. We need to figure out. But I will say that it does work. Technology is a blessing, and it helps teachers. I think it will help the budget over the years to come, because you're not spending so much money on those textbooks. And, the kids, they do enjoy it, but we do have to crack that digital divide. You guys have a blessed night. Thanks.